Ayo, Shalom, El Prezi Abba Shemi Hashem Bashim Kakadash. Don't want to see Apostle and Orders GreatMillStone over a while. And Shalom to the brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. It's brother, I'm one from the GMSLondon camp. Just got a video just about, the furore, the hubbub that you got going on in the UK, man, right now, which is, leaning on from this Brexit vote that went down 2 years ago. That, to this day, is still, still basically dictating, the spirit of what's going on out here. Everyone, every fucking place you turn, all they're talking about is rascal Brexit. But, pretty much, like, Theresa May seems to have finally made a fucking deal. This is meant to be done ages ago. And, and it's basically like the clock's been ticking. And, everyone's getting all upset. Because it's basically, it's like, it's ain't our Brexit blah. But basically, the long and short of it is basically, it's a shit deal. Which, if you knew anything about the politics of the EU and the UK and kind of, how they interact, how the trade deals work, all these different things, then basically you would know that the only deal they were ever going to get was a shit deal. But, people are going to be getting all upset. And the thing is like, It's Theresa May's basically just been saying, even any deal is better than a shit deal is better than no deal. Kind of saying, look, man, threatening like, oh well, or no, I think she said no deal is better than a shit deal or something. So it's kind of like the no deal is also an option that's on the table. It seems like that no deal will be the most catastrophic, the most catastrophic way of going out, and it seems the way the politics are going. They're talking about trying to get her kicked out, which it could happen. It's a possibility, but it's basically just a whole mess of confusion, and it's evidently it's been dictated by the elites. The elites have basically put that together, had that happening, and that's gonna lead to a whole lot of confusion, basically going down. It's basically gonna be a lot of chaos, a lot of people not really knowing what's going on, and the elites are they're likely gonna start pushing out their agendas, man, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, the agenda of the elites of Esau, man, the elites of the Edomite, scum, the Edomite scourge on the planet, which is that's very interesting, that's what we hope and we pray for, man. Because hey, the more chaotic it gets around here, then the closer we are to the kingdom. So let me read this on the Guardian. It says Theresa May's Brexit deal, everything you need to know. What does the agreement say? Which bits are controversial? Blah 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 blah. So it says 2.5 years after Britain voted to leave the EU, the UK cabinet on Wednesday night backed the text of the draft withdrawal agreement drawn up by the British and European negotiators. With a series of ministerial resignations already on Thursday, the fallout has already begun. Here is a non-exhaustive guide to what the agreement broadly says, which parts of it are proven controversial and why. How likely the Prime Minister now is to get it through Parliament and what could happen next. So yeah, it says the main thing is Britain's financial settlement with the EU, the post-Brexit rights of EU citizens, a mechanism to prevent a hard border on the island of Ireland. It says, it says, why has it been so hard to reach? While some of the details took longer, the UK and EU agreed reasonably quickly on the so-called divorce bill on citizen rights. The sticking point was the border between Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. So, imagine this is, and the thing is this is, they spent, basically what they're saying is they spent 2.5 fucking years talking about a goddamn border in Ireland. This is meant to be some legendary Brexit bill, a Brexit deal. This shit was meant to be done forever ago. But, they spent 2.5 years just talking about a fucking border on Ireland. That means that everything else ain't even gonna get, when's that gonna be sorted? So, there was, what the fuck did I want, thingy. So what was I gonna say? There was a fucking point in this year that was just hilarious. So basically, what did it say, man? So the solution of the idea of constant union. No, about stuff. Nah, I missed it, man. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So it says the agreement also includes a much sketchier and non-binding 7-page political declaration outlining the side's ambitions for their desired future trading relationship, on which negotiations have yet to formally start. So basically, the future trading relationship, which is like the whole fucking point of Brexit. Everyone's like, Brexit means Brexit. I'm like, bro, immigration and the trade deals are like the most important parts of Brexit. And bro, man ain't even started negotiating on that. That's how much of a mess. That's how much of a clusterfuck this whole event is. That means that this is just a big unholy waste of time. Because all this, bro, people are, you know, you hear all you see in the newspaper, every fucking newspaper in England, every day, just Brexit this, Brexit that, this part of Brexit, this aspect of Brexit, we want this kind of a Brexit, why don't we do this kind of a Brexit? No, this is the Brexit we voted for, you know, this amount of voters on Brexit, bro, all that, and then you ain't even sorted nothing out. That means basically this is a whole lot of confusion, this is a big fucking joke. And that really means that these elites are having a real good time out here. Because the thing is nothing's even happening. Bare talking of Guan, and nothing's got that. So that means that just bare chaos. Chaos is going to reign, basically, is what it appears to be, man. It seems like the elites are basically going to have chaos reigning. And, hey, they're going to be able to utilize that chaos to basically bring their plans forward. Because what's their thing is order ab chaos, man. Out of the chaos, then they bring the order. So they're going to have basically the situations. Hey, and the Brexit situation, that will impact the whole EU. And the thing is because the thing is like when it's like you restrict a country's trade, then you just have to go to war. So the UK is just going to have to start saying, look, man, look, we can't. They might have to get involved in Syria. They might have to do some, you know, who knows, Yemen, Saudi Arabia. There's all kinds of different ways it's going to pop off. And then, you know, they could start getting aggy with certain guys. Hey, there's, you know, basically it's hey, the spirit's working. It's like, you know, this event, what's going on in America as well with, you know, the Dems getting, what was it, I think the lower house, whatever the fuck they're called, man. There's, I think it's the House of Representatives. I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the American political system, but basically, you know, the Democrats got one of the houses, so they're looking to start making Trump's life hell. So then Trump might have to just use executive orders and basically get things popping off, because they're looking to try and you know, that probe that's going against him, try and fuck up his shit. They're looking to try and basically you know, utilize that to try and get this. They said, oh, we might impeach this guy. You know, that means I don't think gonna impeach shit, because he's in there on the grace of the elites. So, you know, these different political events, they're gonna start leading to, you know, physical events happening, things happening. You know, they might have to crank up the false flags, because in the US, man, after there was like 3 shootings or something, like there was like 2 school shootings, it was a horrendous amount of shootings. Like quickly after, a fucking cop got murked off, you know, over there. Like just shortly after, I was like shortly after, you know, the votes went through. So basically that chaos levels rising. It's got to the point where shooting in America, you know, they're saying like, you know, ain't even got time. You hashtag pray for whoever else it is, and then you have to switch out. The next day you praying. One day you putting on the, you know, you might put on. One day you put in one state, then the next day you put in the next state on Facebook. They just, you know, that's because, hey, it's the chaos, and that's what, you know, the elites are utilizing. And they, you know, and the thing is, it's prophesied as well, because this is basically what we're dealing with is prophecy. Let me read this, Daniel 2:40, and it says, "And the 4th kingdom shall be strong as iron, for so much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise." And that was talking about the Roman Empire. And, you know, the Roman Empire had that fierce military might. And it, you know, broke in pieces, subdued, had a kingdom on the sides which had never before been seen on the earth. You know, that some legendary kingdom. And it says, what? And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, that's the kingdom that came after, you know, the reincarnation, basically, of the Roman Empire, the feet and toes, which is what we're in now. And it says, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of iron, for so much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. So yeah, you got that iron, you got that clay, and they're mixed, and that's, you know, that's the EU and NATO. And you can see the nations are mixed. You know, you got Europe, all these guys getting clumped together. And it's funny because I was watching some you know, some video of some guy that was, you know, trying to send for some white supremacy, saying basically, you know, these guys trying to say white people like they're all just one group, or Europeans. But really, these guys were, you know, throughout the 1900s, 1800s, these guys are going to war with each other left, right and center. And that's true. But a lot of that was done, set up by the so-called Jews, set up by the elites of the so-called Jews, basically to utilizing them situations to consolidate power. Because if you know, you go into Albert Pike's, you know, the three world wars. Each of the world wars had a purpose. There was certain things that were basically being aimed for, certain beliefs that were getting pushed out through these wars, and you know, and they basically managed to put the spirit of what they wanted out there over the people through these different events. So it's the same thing with now. It says what, that part of iron, part of miry clay. So basically, they're not going to cleave. And you know, and that's what the elites are basically been pushing that spirit out there. That's why they put Trump in, and that basically made it so it's like the left and the right in these states. They don't even, bro. You can't even put them two guys in the same room. They're gonna start fucking headlocking each other, man. Some Republicans and some Democrats. They'll start, you know, the Antifa's gonna jump out and start fucking smashing people over the head with planks of wood, man. And then some white supremacists are going to come up with their Nazi flags and start running, and some Jakes and go, oh, fuck y'all. You know, that's basically that chaos. You know, basically sending, you know, each side sending for each other, all that. That's basically what, you know, that division, that chaos that these elites are trying to utilize, man. And it says what? And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And really, that in Europe, that main strength in Europe is Germany, which has been, it's funny, throughout history, Germany's always been that main point of strength. Even, you know, Russia as well, man. Because I was looking over like Stalin's Russia, like how he revolutionized Russia. That guy used some legendary tactics, you know, to bring Russia into the modern age. That's why Russia's also at the cutting edge of technology, man. The AK-47. That shit's, you know, how's that? That shit was a marvel of military technology. Their military technology, their planes, S-400 missile systems. Why is everyone buying up them S-400s? You know, because these guys basically have been brought, that they're also at contention with America. That, you know, they're basically going to be utilized by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. So it's like you got them areas that are stronger and them areas that are weaker. That's why you got really Britain now. At one point they were strong. When you had the British Empire, they were strong, but now they're weak. Motherfuckers doing Brexit, like they actually have a say or have some power, you know, in this place. But really, you know, it's waned. It's the financial capital, but that's also partly global anyway. It's not really you know, and it's not really London. There's utilizing that financial power, and you know that doesn't translate into the same kind of power it had before. And it says, whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is mixed with clay. So yeah, that's why all these nations trying to come together, you know, sitting at one seat, but they ain't really, you know, Esau's even amongst the Edomites, they ain't all together. You know, Macron, Trump sending for Macron. Macron's having to send, but say, yo, it ain't cool. But that ain't cool. Thing is, Macron was sending for Trump back in the day as well, you know. So this, you know, these Edomites, all of them basically, turning against one another, man. They ain't cleaved together. And it says what? And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. So basically, you know, the kingdom we got coming, hey, this is also prophesied. So after all this, that season of confusion we got now, whilst Esau's in power, trying to utilize and do world order plans, then a new kingdom's gonna get set up. That's what we're building now. That you can see that getting built. All these videos you see flying up over the internet, they's basically pushing out, you know, the vibration of this, man. This new kingdom. And the kingdom's not going to be left to other people. So it's going to be a kingdom, you know, ruled by Israel. You know, starting from Yahushua down to the 12, down to 144,000, man. They're going to be basically, that's who's going to be ruling over the kingdom. And it says, and it shall stand forever. For so much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof too. So all the other nations are going to get smashed. You know, this rulership now, Esau, you know, the so-called white man, he ain't going to be around forever. He's going to get taken out of power. He's going to be put in subjection, man. So, you know, and you're out of that chaos. You know, Esau thinks he's going to get the rule, but you don't realize Israel's getting that, fam. But yeah, you know, I'll leave you there, man. I'll say all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua Hashem, Kadosh, and Shalom.